Welcome to Onsite Public Media's No Cap Recap, where we tell you what happened.
And we don't do no capping. I'm Serious Marie.
And I'm Brandon Lee. Thank you for joining us today. Well, we're halfway through our first month of 2021. The date is January 17th, but honestly, it feels more like it's December 48th, 2020.
Yeah, we've got a mob of MAGA terrorists storming the Capitol. Donald Trump got impeached not one time, but two times. Donald
Trump has been banned on almost every major social media platform.
And Minnesota police continue to terrorize their communities. What a surprise. Around these parts, we like to call Donald Trump Cheeto Puff, aka the Big Chief. And I'm gonna get into him getting impeached because it wasn't just once, but it was twice. Okay, The first time in history. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. Okay, for it. So the basis of him getting impeached the first time was his abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, but this time it's inciting violence. And like I said, we all know what happened at the Capitol, okay? And so let's get into some of the stuff that he said to incite said violence, okay? First, he said some stuff like, "We will never give up. We will never concede." You don't concede when there's theft involved. What theft, sir? What theft? He just continued to incite to these people this conspiracy theory. There was a theft, that you have to be strong. Ridiculousness, to be honest, just too much. He continued to criticize the media, saying that there's no free and fair media and all that other BS. So basically, getting his cult members together. The way that he treated his supporters, his cult followers, was just completely different than how he treated Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, that's true, because, back when people were protesting for their right to live, he tweeted, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts." Yet these white men can carry a podium out of the United States Capitol unharmed and walk with their hand being held on the way out.
And he'll tell them, "Oh, I love you. I love you people. You guys are special. I understand how you feel. And, we have to do this." Sir, storming the Capitol, sir. 5 people are dead. Yes, he incited the insurrection, but it is important that we do push for him to get impeached, because if that happens, even if it is after he gets out of the office, he won't be able to hold office anymore. And that's what we need to know. Even though there may be a bigger, badder, more puffier Cheeto Puff, we got to get this one out of there. We got to.
That's pretty hard to beat. I don't know.
They drive a hard bargain, but we gonna do what we can do. Social media platforms that he's been banned off of because of this incitement of violence: Reddit, Twitch, Shopify, Twitter, Google for Parler, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Apple for also Parler, Discord, Pinterest, Amazon AWS, which is Parler's cloud, Stripe, Okta, and Twilio. What do we have left? OnlyFans and MySpace.
Maybe Tinder, Grindr, Bumble, one of those. I don't know.
If you want to find a day, Trumpy, maybe.
This week in non-performative activism, since police brutality didn't end after the summer when protesting was the trendy thing to do, protesters took to the streets in Robbinsdale, Minnesota, demanding justice for Brian Eugene Andren, who was shot and killed by the police. After a short car chase, he was allegedly charging while surrounded by 4 officers with a knife. And those officers, who had tasers, bulletproof vests, guns, and strength in numbers, somehow feared for their lives and opened fire. Also worth noting, this man was white, so of course the All Lives Matter crowd should have been in attendance, but they weren't. So I guess that begs the question, do they not care about white-on-white crime? Or were they too busy planning for another insurrection? Or were they backing the blue by beating more police officers at the Capitol? I don't know. I guess, white supremacy is a hard thing for even them to understand.
Yikes.
As our Minnesota winter continues and snow and the temperature continues to fall, our unhoused neighbors continue to struggle. And what has our local government done to help these individuals?
That's a trick question.
That is a trick question, because it seems that we have very different definitions of the word help. The cities have been evicting different encampments in the cities since late October, and they have been continuing even through the winter. This past week, the encampment at Midway in St. Paul was evicted. Also, there were 2 actions this week in support of the unhoused community. One in St. Paul, where they hand-delivered a letter to Mayor Carter demanding that they put an end to all encampment evictions, and another one in front of Minneapolis City Hall also demanding the same thing. They both affirm that shelters are not a viable solution to the housing crisis. only affordable, low income and no income long-term housing is the cure. And what building do you know of in the Twin Cities that could be renovated to better suit and provide housing for the unhoused?
What about the Sears on Rice Street, perhaps?
The one that's been vacant since 2019?
That one.
The one that they were talking about whether it's better suited for business or for shelter for the unhoused since 2020? That one?
Yeah, that one.
Well, it turns out it's going to be used for neither.
What a surprise! Wow.
And that brings us to the city of St. Paul winning this week's Cap of the Week, because why? This Sears is going to be used for what?
Mass demonstration training?
As if arresting 646 protesters on the night of November 4th wasn't enough, as if they don't know how to already arrest that large number of people, as if we can storm the Capitol and go without being arrested with getting our hand held down the front steps of the United States Capitol after we killed 5 people?
Including an officer. How much more training do you need, sir? Y'all don't even use the training. How much more? So wrapping up, these people make false equivalencies to their oppression so much it's ridiculous. How ridiculous do you ask? Roll the clip.
Black people had to fight for civil rights. They got to have their thing. And gay people had to fight for civil rights. They got to have their thing too. And then women had to fight for equal rights. They got to have their thing. Well, as a straight, white, often fat male in this country who's never had anything taken away from him and never really had his existence in this country threatened, I want to have a thing. I want to have a cause. I don't really have a cause, but I want a cause. Because for me, it's really hard watching people get theirs when I've always had mine. I want to have a cause. I want something to get mad about. Nah.
So for me, as a black woman in America, I'm here to tell you to shut the f up. It doesn't work like that.
Say that.
You're the reason why we've had nothing in this country for so long. Don't want to hear it.
Preach. All right, to wrap things up, we're going to head to our no cap quick fact, where we take the whitewash facts and put the color back.
Check it out. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Go ahead. All right, let me see. All right. Today we have Edmund Albius, the 12-year-old slave that revolutionized the cultivation of vanilla. He basically came up with a method that pollinated vanilla in a way that we still use to this day. They don't tell you that in school. Keep in mind. Just letting you know. Put in the color bag, period.
Just like our sign off.
Okay, so thank you for tuning in to No Cap Recap. We'll see you next week. Don't forget, no caps, no cop.
But then I feel like we need one more thing. And
one more thing. Okay, look. I got you. Listen.
No, I think you need to say no problem.
Okay, got you. No cap, no cop, no problem. See you next week. And I throw the hat. Yes. So you like it?
Yes. And thank you for tuning in to Onsite Public Media's No Cap Recap. And remember,
no cap,
no cops,
no problem. See you next week.